The early morning sun washed the village in soft gold, and Tusam's small garden glowed gently beneath its light. She moved quietly among the rows of vegetables, her hands tender, her heart heavy. Life had been peaceful lately, but loneliness always whispered at the edges, reminding her of everything she once hoped for and everything she lost. From a distance, Lee watched her. He had returned only a few days ago, silent, injured, and carrying the weight of unspoken regrets. He didn't dare approach her too quickly, not after the storms he had caused in her life. But every day he watched, how she carried heavy baskets alone, how she walked miles to the market, how exhaustion hid beneath her brave smile. And something inside him tightened each time. One quiet afternoon, Lee stood before a small shop in town, staring at a silver-white bicycle, the kind that shined under the sun, sturdy yet gentle. He imagined Tusam riding it along the village path, the wind brushing her hair, her steps lighter, her days a little brighter. An impulse came from deep inside his chest. Let me do at least one thing right for her. Without thinking more, Lee bought the bicycle. He brought it to her house as the sky turned pink. His heart beat faster with every step, like a boy confessing his first love. He placed the bike in front of her gate and wiped dust from the handlebars, and took a breath that felt too tight. When Tusam walked out carrying a basket of freshly picked greens, she stopped in her tracks. Her eyes widened at the sight of the bicycle. Lee stepped forward, voice low and sincere. "Sam, I saw how hard it's been for you to move around, so I wanted to give you this. No reason, no conditions, just something to make your days easier." Silence fell between them, a silence that made Lee's heartbeat stumble. Tusam slowly put the basket down. Her gaze wasn't soft, it wasn't grateful, it wasn't anything he had imagined. It was shock, pure, sharp, almost painful. She looked at the bicycle as if it were something dangerous, something she was afraid to touch. Lee's breath broke in his chest. This was not the reaction he expected, not even close. And in that moment, he realized maybe the wound inside Tusam was deeper than anything a simple gift could heal. Tusam didn't move toward the bicycle. Instead, she took one small step back, as if the shiny silver frame carried a weight she couldn't bear. Lee felt the air tighten around him. "Sam, what's wrong?" he asked gently. Her eyes lifted to him, filled with a mixture of fear, hurt, and something he couldn't quite name. "Why did you bring this here, Lee?" Her voice trembled, barely above a whisper. He blinked, surprised. "Because I wanted to help. You walk so far every day, and—" "That's not the point," she burst out, her voice cracking. Lee froze. Tusam turned away, her shoulders stiffening, her fists curling at her sides. It took a moment before she could speak again. "You come and go whenever you want, just like before." Her voice broke, the pain slipping through each word. Lee felt the sting of her words slice deep. He opened his mouth to explain, but she stepped forward, closing the distance between them, not in anger, but in heartbreak. "I've learned to live alone, Lee. I've worked hard to stand on my own 2 feet, to not depend on anyone. And now you show up out of nowhere and give me something expensive, meaningful." Her lips trembled. "You make it so hard for me to forget you." The wind stilled. Lee finally understood. Her shock wasn't about the bike. It was about him. His sudden presence, his sudden kindness, the memories he awakened with a single gesture. He swallowed hard. "Sam, I didn't mean to hurt you. I just wanted to make your life easier." Tusam shook her head, her eyes glistening with the tears she refused to shed. "Good intentions can still reopen old wounds, Lee." Her words hung in the air, and for the first time since he returned, Lee felt truly powerless. He had hoped to bring her comfort. Instead, he brought her fear. Fear of remembering, fear of believing again, fear of being abandoned a second time. Lee looked at the bike, then back at Tusam, and he realized if he wanted a place in her life again, a gift wasn't enough. He would need something far deeper, something he had failed to give her before. Commitment, consistency, presence. But was it too late? Lee stood frozen in the middle of the small yard, the bike still gleaming under the late afternoon sun. He had expected many things. Tusam laughing shyly, covering her mouth the way she always did, or maybe her pretending not to like it even though her eyes sparkled. But he never expected this. Tusam sank onto the wooden step, burying her face in her trembling hands. Her shoulders shook, not from laughter, but from something deeper, darker. Lee whispered, taking a hesitant step toward her. "What's wrong? Did I do something wrong?" She didn't answer. Only after a long moment did she lift her head. Her eyes were already wet, the kind of tears that didn't fall easily. "Lee, I can't accept it." Her voice cracked, thin and fragile like a glass about to break. Lee's heart tightened. "Why? It's just a bike. I wanted to make things easier for you, safer for you. You walk so far every day." "That's exactly why," she burst out, pressing her hand to her chest. "People have bought me things before. People promised me help before. Every time I accepted something, everything went wrong." There it was, the memory she had locked away. The stranger who had gifted her a scooter years ago just to control her. The man who used kindness as a chain. The debt she had suffered because she trusted too easily. She wasn't afraid of Lee. She was afraid of the past. "I don't want to owe anyone again," she whispered. "Not even you." Lee slowly knelt in front of her, gentle, careful, as if approaching a wounded bird. "You don't owe me anything," he said softly. "Not now, not ever. I didn't buy this to claim a place in your life. I bought it because I want to make your life lighter. That's all." But Tusam only shook her head. "You don't understand. I'm scared of accepting anything from someone I care about, because losing it later hurts the most." Her words cut him, because she finally admitted it. She cared, and that terrified her. Lee swallowed hard. He wanted to pull her close. He wanted to tell her she could lean on him. But he stayed where he was, letting her breathe, letting her feelings break open like a hidden wound finally seeing the light. "Some," he murmured, his voice rough with emotion. "I'm here to give, even if you push me away, even if you never ride that bike. I'll stay right here." Her lips parted, a soundless breath escaping her. For the first time, she truly looked at him, not as someone returning to her life, not as a man who once hurt her, but as someone trying to understand her fear without judging it. And that, more than the bike, stunned her, because Lee had changed. "Give me time," she whispered. "I'll wait, even if it takes forever." The wind carried the quiet words between them, soft but powerful, the first fragile thread of trust weaving itself back into place. For days, the bike remained untouched. It sat quietly beside the small fence, gathering morning dew and falling leaves, a silent witness to the distance between them. Lee didn't mention it again, not once. He still came by every evening, sometimes bringing warm soup, sometimes helping her fix the garden gate, sometimes just sitting on the wooden step, talking about the weather or the village, or anything that made her smile without thinking too much. And Tusam noticed. He wasn't trying to win her. He wasn't trying to erase the past. He was simply there. Steady. Gentle. Patient in a way she had never experienced before. One cool morning, just as the sky blushed pink with sunrise, Tusam stood in the doorway staring at the bike. She didn't know what pulled her outside. Maybe gratitude, maybe curiosity, or maybe the quiet ache of wanting to trust again. Her fingers brushed the handlebars, cold and smooth. She whispered to no one, "Maybe it's okay to try?" At that exact moment, Lee appeared at the gate, holding 2 bags of freshly bought vegetables. He froze when he saw her. Their eyes met, and something unspoken passed between them. Not pressure, not expectation, but hope. "You're up early," he said softly, almost afraid to break the moment. Tusam swallowed hard, gripping the handlebars tighter. "I want to learn," she said, voice trembling. "But only if you're patient with me." Lee set the bags down so quickly that one almost tipped over. "Sam, I have never been more patient with anything in my life." A small laugh escaped her, fragile but real. He walked toward her slowly, giving her space, giving her control. "Let's go to the field," he suggested. "It's safer there." The field was wide, golden with dried grass, and quiet except for the chirping of early birds. Lee adjusted the bike seat. Tusam watched nervously. "You ready?" he asked. "No," she admitted, "but let's do it anyway." He held the back of the bike as she climbed on, his grip steady, warm, reassuring. "Just breathe," he said. "You're not alone." She pushed the pedals shakily. The bike wobbled. Her heart raced. But Lee ran beside her, holding the bike firmly, matching her movements, whispering encouragement with every breath. "You're doing it. That's it. Keep going." And then, without her realizing, he let go. For a few precious seconds, Tusam was riding on her own, the wind brushing her hair, the world opening around her like a sunrise blooming across the sky. "I'm doing it," she gasped. "Lee, I'm—" She turned her head to look at him, and in that tiny second of distraction, she lost balance and tipped sideways. Lee caught her before she hit the ground. They ended up on the grass, breathless, laughing, a sound so pure it startled even them. Tusam's laughter faded into a softer breath. "I was really riding." "Yes," Lee said, brushing a leaf from her hair. "And you didn't need me holding on." She looked into his eyes, those warm, steady eyes that had never once tried to cage her. And for the first time, the fear didn't come. Her heart didn't tighten. It opened. "Lee," she murmured, voice trembling, not with fear, but with something gentler, braver. "Maybe I don't mind if you stay." He smiled, slow and full of emotion. "I've been here all along." And there in the quiet morning light, surrounded by golden grass and the echo of laughter, Tusam felt the fragile, beautiful truth. Trust doesn't return all at once. It returns in moments. A hand catching her before she falls, a voice encouraging her forward, a gift she's finally ready to accept. And maybe, just maybe, it returns with love.